1 year ago, it was a night of celebration that turned tragic. Police say a man intentionally drove into a pedestrian crossing outside the Kodak Center, killing 3 people and injuring 8 others. Our Matt Malloy takes a look back at that case.
A concert was letting out in the early morning hours of New Year's Day from the Kodak Center on Ridge Road. The celebratory mood quickly turning into a terrifying scene when police say a driver intentionally drove toward a pedestrian crossing, slamming into an Uber.
Everybody kind of flooded towards the windows a little bit to see how close the crash actually was, because it was only about 20 feet from the building. And at the time when everybody was funneling out, the flames were probably still like 15 feet high.
When we did finally get outside and you saw the carnage of the cars and the one car burnt up and car pieces everywhere, and it was surreal to think, wow, this happened right here.
The 2 backseat passengers, 28-year-old Justina Hughes of Geneva and 29-year-old Joshua Orr of Webster, lost their lives. The force of the crash pushing 2 vehicles through a group of pedestrians, injuring 9 of them. 54-year-old Dawn Revitt would die days later from her injuries.
They were expecting to be able to ring in the new year and have a good time, but instead, we have individuals that are now going to be burying family members.
Police say the driver, 35-year-old Michael Avery of Syracuse, who was also killed, rented an SUV from Rochester's airport and filled the vehicle with at least a dozen gasoline canisters. Police learned he bought a ticket to the concert that night, but never used it. A motive for the attack would be the hardest answer to find.
At this point in the investigation, law enforcement has been unable to identify the existence of any co-conspirators or any possible motive behind this attack. Investigators have not uncovered any links to political, racial, or any other extremist ideologies associated with Avery.
Authorities searched Avery's hotel room and his personal vehicle that was left at the airport, but found no suicide note or any other clues as to a motive. His family told police they think he may have suffered from undiagnosed mental health issues. 1 year later, there are still no answers.
We may never know why he decided to carry out this act. But what we should do is try to keep the memories of Dawn, Justina, and Josh alive.
Our Matt Malloy reporting there. Rochester police consider this case no longer active and say no definitive motive was ever identified.